So my cheeks hurt from that whole laugh attack. So to get off of that a little bit, we're going to go on to the next question here, and we're going to start off with Josh on this time. Like we've been saying, the game is being sold in alpha and being crowdfunded. And I think we've actually already answered this well enough. But do you feel that your contribution to this game's development was of value for what you received?
No. I'm just going to leave it at that. No.
Yeah. Okay. Cory?
I can't say so, no. I think the most I can say from buying my way into the alpha and playing it as much as I have is I'm interested in seeing the final product. I think that there's a lot of fun to be had in a game like this. And I love the idea of Prison Architect. I think it's a cool idea. There's a lot of neat things to the game.
Yeah.
But it's sure not there yet, and there's more stuff to not like than there is to like right now.
True enough.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. Dino?
Well, I pretty much said that I was pretty happy with it. Based on the fact that it is alpha, so when I bought it, I told myself that I was paying $30 for possibly total shit. So that was my assumption when I paid that original money, because it was an alpha. Something in alpha, I find that you can't have any expectations. Once it's in beta and beyond that, well, then I might be a little bit more vocal on the lack of playability or whatever. But the fact that I got into the alpha was worth something to me. So yeah, I'm not saying it was worth it, but I would do it again. I don't regret paying the $30.
You know what? I want to be clear too. I don't regret paying the $30 necessarily. It's going to a good place. I mean, we're gamers. We love games. We want to see games developed by smaller companies. That's just going to help the art form. It's just going to help make better games in general. So I don't regret spending the money on it. I am alarmed at the fact that I had no choice as to how much money I gave them.
Good call.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. As for myself, no. Moving on. Cory, we're going to start with you on this one, and I'm really excited to start talking about this issue. What is your opinion on crowdfunding? Kickstarter, Indiegogo, these are big ideas and big companies that are coming out of 2012. They've just started kind of getting the game development cycle going in these forms. We've yet to see very many products coming out of it, though. A lot of them have been funded and very publicly funded, but we haven't seen too many results from it. Where do you see this going from here on out?
Well, I'm a big fan of the idea. I like the fact that we as consumers have influence over the marketplace in this way. It's sure... I love the idea of a future where we don't just get Call of Duties and NHL of the year every year. Yep. And I mean, I like those games. I like sequels. I like big blockbuster video games as well.
Yeah.
But there's a place in the market for the big blockbuster titles and for the smaller indie titles, the titles that that work their way up. I like the transparency. I like the idea of transparency in the marketplace. You know, because a game is crowdfunded, the developer is responsible for keeping the developers, us, or the funders, us, in the loop in terms of how the game is being made. I think there's a bit of a bubble to it right now. I think that everyone and their dog has a Minecraft that they want to produce. And I think that I don't think the market can sustain that. I don't think we can sustain that for very long. Yeah. I think that in the next couple of years, I think we're going to see like Kickstarter 2.0, where there's a more divisive sort of marketplace. There's more of the act of crowdfunding a game is more streamlined. And we are hopefully more educated about it.
Well, I know Steam implemented that idea of it's not really a crowdfunding, but they're doing something called Project Greenlight, where the Steam users vote on what games from the indie community they want to be available on Steam. So there could be some sort of middle ground between those two, like the crowdfunding of Kickstarter plus the Steam.
I would be given what we've seen Steam doing in the last couple of years. I'd be surprised if they didn't have their own crowdfunding sort of division happening soon.
Yeah.
They're very good, those those Valve people, about their place in the game community.
They know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Thing or two about a thing or two.
A little bit, yeah. Cool. Dino.
Notes.
Notes.
You'll like this. Considering a Death Star has 254,000 euros, is that euros? I think that's euros. I'd say that the sky's the limit. I mean,
yeah.
If someone got aggressive enough, they could solve serious world issues with this. If they got aggressive enough, I mean, there's a lot of people in the world, and there's a lot of money in the world. And if, like, for example, Age of Empires was coming out, or they were talking about making it, and they said, you know what, sorry, they told the community we can't afford it. And so Notch comes up, he says, well, I'm a millionaire, I love Age of Empires, here's $200,000, go make Age of Empires. Mm-hmm. So Notch kickstarted Age of Empires 2 or 3 or whatever they're making by himself. Mm-hmm. So the Kickstarter community, it's popular, and if big, smart, intelligent people like Notch can see its value,
Well, you know, I hate. That's a good point. Like, I hate to talk trash about fellow gamers, because I do believe that anybody who loves games, who is a gamer, deserves from us, who also love games, a certain amount of respect. Mm. But the Kickstarter the Kickstarter device, lends itself to informed investors. We finally have more power than just a simple vote with your wallet in terms of what we want, because quite frankly, that falls apart. That's why we have Call of Duty every year. That's why we have NHL every year, Madden every year, because you have enough young people who enjoy games, and as a young person would, they don't look at it the same way we do, where we're interested in the advancement of them technologically and from an artistic standpoint. They're just looking to have a good time with them, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where there's a bit of a conflicting sort of philosophies on what makes a good game there. Kickstarter allows those of us who are a little more vocal, who have a better idea of where we want to see games go. We can invest ourselves that way, right?
Josh?
It's all new to me. I've always just bought finished product, really, and I really like that. I kind of like going to a store to buy a vacuum cleaner and there's no hose, and it doesn't have a plug-in for the outlet.
We haven't designed that yet. You'll get it.
Yeah.
But if you give me some money, we could finish this off for you.
We could make a hose. It'd be great.
We don't know exactly when, or maybe if we'll use the money for that. But maybe if you just give me your money. Like, to me, that system it's kind of weird to me. I've always been, it's risky. It's an investment, really. You're investing in something that you want to see happen. And to me, this game, in particular, I wouldn't invest my money in it, because I have after a single game playthrough, I was just like, it's a fun game, but really, how much better is it actually going to get when we start throwing all this money?
That's right, yeah.
Are these people, who am I giving my money to? Is it funding some dude's coke habit? I don't know. Yeah. No clue. Yeah. But
there have certainly been projects that have fallen apart like that, right? Mm-hmm. So
yeah, we have heard just in the beginning of this year alone, there have been projects that they did not use the money that they were given properly, and their projects just went away. So there is that risk, but it all depends on how much you give as well, which you kind of take. So if you donate $5 to a game that you're semi-interested in, okay, yeah, that could happen, and if it doesn't, you're not too hard pressed by it. But if there's a game like an Age of Empires reboot that you're like, oh my god, I love that, I would pay top dollar for that, here's $60, and that doesn't happen, that hits you pretty hard. But it's for the potential, you know.
Well, and that's why I think we need to. It's better, I think, to look at it in terms of we are gamers advancing what we love. We're working towards something, not just buying a product, right?
Now, on that note, I'm glad you said those very words. I believe I'm stealing this from an article I read somewhere or a video interview, so forgive me if I can't remember the reference. You can sue me later. But
oh, you didn't just tell them they could
oh,
sue
they could. They could. I'm just spreading the love.
Ooh, that's an unfortunate choice of words.
Whatever. I'm independent. Anyway. But someone said that everyone's so hyped up with this this crowdfunding idea. And on paper, it sounds good, you know, because you have all these indie developers that are coming out that are putting out these games that are going to change the way we look at games. Like, look how much, just in the short amount of time that it's been here, Minecraft has changed the face of gaming, okay? And all it's done, it hasn't done anything drastic with graphics or sound design or anything like that. It's brought it the other way, where it's all about gameplay and expanding on that notion. And that's why I love the indie games. You know, you'll have like the retail games that are going to be on the market whether you want it there or not, you know, and they're going to push that whole looking beautiful, running on like 6 like, you know, Intel Core processors and blah, you know, it's going to melt your computer, it's so awesome, you know.
But that's their game.
That's not the only option at the table anymore.
No, because you go on the flip side, well, if we don't have the money to make it look that good, we have enough money to make it play even better than that. So we get the best of both worlds that way. Now, it doesn't leave a lot of room for the middle guys or anything like that, but still, they're different advances, right? Here's my point. The article that I read, or the video guide that I saw, he stated that Kickstarter is not going to change the face of gaming the way we think it will. It will allow for different types of games to come out, but it will not push the medium forward, in the sense that all the games that are coming out from Kickstarter are based on technology that has been here for a while.
That already exists.
There is nothing in the pipeline that's making a new Unreal Engine 2000. No ID software engine, nothing like that. The only thing that I can think of that came close is the Oculus Rift, which is going to be those immersive 3D glasses that are going to be coming out. Okay, so that's about the only thing that technologically is going to be advancing.
One can make the argument though that it's changing gamer culture. That it's changing, maybe not changing the games that are coming out or the games that are available, but it's changing the way we play games. It's changing the games we play. It's changing the way we think about the games we want to play.
Yeah.
I will say 5 years ago, I would never I would never have thought of playing Minecraft. Right? I would have never thought of playing Ace of Spades.
I would have looked at them and just saw, you know, forgive me for saying this, but like a Little Big Planet knockoff.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You know, 5 years ago, and this tells you how much in 5 years. My personal gaming experience has changed. 5 years ago, if it wasn't on the Xbox, I wasn't interested. You know, with things like Steam, it's all about how we deliver games and what's available to me, giving me options, right? And that in turn, because we're in a viral age, that's just going to spread like wildfire, right? Maybe I've got a bunch
like
of
a
friends.
virus.
Yeah, like a virus. Well, maybe I've got a bunch of friends that play MMOs religiously, and that's our thing. And then all of a sudden, one of us gets into a different type of MMO. That's going to change a small group of people the way they play that type of game, which in turn is going to influence the market to change MMOs. Right? I think we're developing a reactionary cycle. Is what I think we're doing.
I mean, I like where we are right now. I think it's great. You know, the fact that, you know, so many gamers, a lot of us are sick of the sequelitis, you know. I'm not opposed to sequels. Like, there are games out there, I don't care if you came out with a new game for it every, like, couple of years or so. Uncharted being one. If I had an Uncharted game every 2 years, I would be so very happy, and I would buy them all. God of War, same thing, you know. But when you get into games like Call of Duty, I don't see that much of a change from game to game. Assassin's Creed, I don't see much of a change from game to game. So they're all sports games. I don't see that drastic a change, you know. So in that respect, I can see why people are sick of these kind of cycles.
It's cookie cutter.
Yeah, exactly. So when the indie game scene comes around, it's something fresh, it's something new. I get that. And I totally forgot where I was going with this son of a bitch. Okay, so the next topic we're going to tackle here, again, I think it might be a quick one because I think we have said quite a bit about this already. But do you think Prison Architect is a good example of what we can expect from this new platform of game publishing?
Or are we still talking about Prison Architect?
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, I thought we were done with this.
I'm trying to bring it back into the fold. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as we don't want to talk about it, I'm trying to work it.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that Prisoner Architect is a good example of the quality or the quality of games that we're going to be getting from Kickstarter when we actually do them? Like we have, just off the top of my head, we have the Double Fine Adventure coming out. That's a big one. Mm-hmm. We have the Banner Saga, which is one I'm really looking forward to. We have a reboot of Leisure Suit Larry. My God, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, all these games, and Wing Commander, I believe.
Oh!
Commander, Pathfinder Online is another one coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
there's a lot of potentially amazing games that are coming out of Kickstarter. But looking at Prison Architect, excuse me.
I do that too.
I know, I do it all the time. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's indicative of the quality that we're going to end up with all these other projects?
No.
Okay.
I think there's enough people making games that love making games. And like I said earlier, everybody has their own little Minecraft they want to make. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, everybody has a leisure of love they want to labor over. Or a labor of love they want to slave over, I should say.
Yeah.
So no, I think that, I mean, taste is subjective, but the market will flush out the garbage, right? Mm-hmm. If a game doesn't stand on its own merits, it won't make the cut. And I think again we're still kind of new to this crowdsourcing thing, or crowdfunding thing. I think that the market will sort of learn what it can bear.
Yeah.
You know, I think that developers will see what works and what doesn't, and you know they will realize that okay, you can't. This is a professional endeavor. You can't slack off on it. So.
Cool. Josh?
Tell you the truth, I don't even know how to answer.
Well, you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh.
Yes, the talent.
Yeah.
You are kind of new to the whole idea of crowdfunding to begin with.
It's new to me. It's alien. It feels very like not something that I do. You know.
Well, you kind of said it earlier when you were talking about the vacuum analogy, like that. That sort of sums up, I think, how you.
Well, that's just how my brain functions. It's just like, if I'm spending my hard-earned money, like, I don't know, when I give a massage, I'm like, you know, yeah, you pay me for the next 5 massages, and I swear I'll do a good job on all of them, and just like.
Well, yeah, that's again, where you're investing, you're not buying. There is.
It just doesn't add up. It is an investment, but at the same time, there's no return except that maybe it might be fun.
Yeah.
Later.
Well, I mean,
on down the road,
and it
but
also
you
depends,
know,
sorry.
That's if it when it finally does come out with whatever they're doing with your money. Is there something bigger, better, more addictive, more fun, that you're going to be playing at that time by the time you're like, oh, I remember playing that like a year or 2 years ago, and it was okay.
Yeah.
But considering what's out now, I think it'll be,
Yeah.
Dust in the wind.
Yeah.
It'll be a bygone age.
But I think a big factor in that, I mean, like, if everybody took the time to, like, say you see a trailer for a Kickstarter advertisement and it looks okay, I'm sure, like, if you were even to consider investing your money, I mean, there are some people that are just like, impulse buyers, and they just go, oh yeah, and there you go. But I think a lot of people, especially with gamers investing in these things, they would research. You want to see, like, okay, who are these guys? Where did they come from? How did they do this?
True.
Like, especially with something, for example, like the Banner Saga. I heard about it. I thought, okay, it sounds kind of cool. I looked at the art style. Yeah, not bad. And then I read that they're guys from Bioware, and I went, sold.
Like I said, the Kickstarter device has a level of transparency to it.
Yeah.
You're not as blind walking into it as you would be in some cases just buying a game off the shelf.
Yeah.
You know?
But you see, I'm not one who reads into things all that deeply.
No, you
No, I definitely don't. I just want to get the game. I want to sit down in my favorite chair and I want to play it, and I want it to work.
Yeah.
I put my money down. I just want it to work.
You appreciate the product, not the process.
I don't understand the process in depth enough.
Yeah.
That's kind of their business, and where they get their money is kind of like up to them. And I've always been a little bit. I'm just a consumer.
And you know what, dude? That's one of the many reasons why I love having you on the show. I tell you, Dino.
I would say again that Kickstarter is because it's funded by the community. Okay, first of all let's start by saying Kickstarter probably, I don't know how it started. Probably started.
Maybe it was crowdfunded
by Minecraft, because that was the Minecraft. That was the way they did things. I bought the beta for Minecraft for $20. 8 or 9 months before it came out. And it seems to me that it wasn't too long after that everyone was doing the exact same thing. So what I think I'm saying is, I don't think anything coming out of the gaming community in general is ever really typical, and even less so with Kickstarters.
That's a very sensible thing to say.
Yeah.
It's a very... There's a lot going on. There's all kinds of games coming out, right? I don't think it's fair to say, well, this game sucks, so Kickstarter's no good.
No.
Or even say, well, this game's great, so Kickstarter's the way to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's always going to be a crapshoot. It's always going to be up to you. You can always look at how much people have invested. Like, if they have $1 million, they're probably going to make a pretty good game out of it. Yeah. If people trust them, if you trust them.
Unless the hookers and blow kind of comes in.
Which it probably does for a lot of Kickstarters. Like, let's not fool ourselves. Like, well, these people have an idea, suddenly they have $100,000 in their bank account.
Maybe they have cold feet.
No one to be accountable to. Who knows what happens, right? Sure.
And to be fair to Kickstarter, we're looking at it from a gamer point of view. Let's not forget that there are so many avenues that Kickstarter works for. There are magazines, there are websites, there are musicians that are funded.
Theatrical production.
Death Stars.
Death Stars.
Yeah. True story.
Not only the Death Star, but an entire X-Wing fighter craft army is being funded by Kickstarter. This is fact, okay? We're not making this up. Somebody actually put out Kickstarter campaigns for these things, and they're being funded, okay? So literally anything can be funded by Kickstarter. So to judge the functionality and the quality and the overall presence and importance of Kickstarter just from a gaming aspect is not very fair. But for the avenue of gaming on Kickstarter, that's our opinion. And with that, before we close down, guys, is there anything else you want to say about either Prison Architect or any kind of crowdfunding ideas?
Yeah, that whole crowdfunding thing, I think I might come around to it if it were something that really, really, really interests me when I see it.
For sure.
But I'd need to see...
Going in blind with it, that's not expected.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Prison Architect, it's not necessarily the type of game that I would want to invest in, but give me something crazy like a sneaking game or something where you have to
a Thief reboot.
I've got one. There's a game called Republic that's coming out for PC now, and it was originally going to be an iPad game, and it is as if you were playing Otacon from Solid Snake. So you are the computer guy telling Snake how to go through the whole thing.
When the cyborg ninja comes, you can pee yourself.
Exactly.
I've always wanted to pee myself in a game.
Not on my couch.
Tap X quickly. Tap X quickly.
Must pee faster. So yeah, you know what? I'll get you over here one night because Josh now lives in the same building as me, so we're gamer neighbors. This is awesome, at least for me.
Gamer neighbors?
Shut up! I'm working on slogans.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Neighbor gamers, gamer neighbors, whatever.
So we're gay neighbors. Good neighbors.
There goes any shot of me finding love on the internet. Sorry, girls. Apparently I'm gay. Anyway, but no, I'll have you over here one time, and we'll go through Kickstarter, and I'll show you some things. Like maybe you'll get a different opinion, but at least you'll be a little more informed for it. Anyway, that is us for Prison Architect. Before we close out and we do our Game of the Month for next month, I want to remind everybody that there is a giveaway for the game from Clay Entertainment, Don't Starve. If you want to get in on that, all you have to do is make a comment in the comment section below about this video, Prison Architect, or crowdfunding in general. Anything that's on your mind, let us know. I love hearing from you guys, and I will give you a response. So the Game of the Month for next month is actually going to be a game genre, so to speak, not one particular game. We're going to be doing free-to-play games. So each one of us is going to be picking a free-to-play game to kind of try, and if we can arrange it, each one of us is going to get our own take of it from that person's perspective. And we're going to come back, we're going to talk about the games a little bit, but we're mostly going to be talking about the idea of free-to-play and how that works as a game kind of revenue avenue. Blah, 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 blah. That's English. So do we want to say what games we're picking, or do you want to think about it and come back?
It's your show.
It's my show. Well, I know I can say for myself, the free-to-play game that I'm choosing recently became free-to-play, and that's going to be Star Wars: The Old Republic. Do you know?
I'm probably going to be playing Planetside 2, if not Planetside 2, and Ghost Recon Online.
There you go. 2 good games.
Well, it was between the two would be, first off, World of Tanks, which was my primary pick, and then my secondary would be Mech Warriors Online.
There you go. And Cory?
I am going to be rocking out on Star Trek Online. Yes. Live long and prosper, bitches. I will also, I think, try my hand at World of Tanks, because I hear a lot of really fun things about that game. So.
And you've also played Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I have played SWTOR, so yeah, we'll be able to talk about that.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'm going to close this out. On behalf of the boys, I want to say thank you very much for watching Deep Seeded Geek and the Game of the Month. If you like this, you can always indicate below with a little thumbs up. You can share this with your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter and the like by hitting the share button down below. You can subscribe to this channel, which is awesome. And as of this moment, I am at 49 subscribers. And if you've been
49, yeah,
49.
Woo!
I think it was just a week ago I sent out a little video saying, you know, if I could get some help from you guys, that would be much appreciated. And you came back in spades and just blew it up. I went from, I think it was like 36 subscribers. I'm up to 49. My goal was to get to 100 by the end of the year. I'm damn near halfway there in just a month. So this is just fantastic. So thank you. I love all you guys. And yeah, we shall see you next time on Deep Seeded Geek. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.